I'm back out on the road again. So what am I riding today? Yeah, this is the Ocelot Pro 2.0. Yeah, I just did the review on this bike. Well, I did the review a while ago. I just released the review on this bike. So I decided, hey, I'm going to take it out again. And the reason is because I got another seat post. As I mentioned before, the seat post was a little bit shorter than I preferred. So I said, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to order another one. I went on Amazon, ordered a seat post that was 400 millimeters long. Yeah, that gives you a lot of height. If you're one like me who likes a decent leg extension, you might want to do that if you get one of these. Now, the thing is not that expensive. I think it was like $17.99 or something like that on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description, so in case you want to get one of those too, when you order your Ocelot Pro, you'll know which one to get. Yeah, it came in pretty fast too. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I did not change out the saddle. I thought the saddle was okay. You know, it's your typical Magicycle saddle, but I think I've gotten used to it. Sure, there's better saddles out there, and you could change that. But keep in mind that if you change the saddle, a lot of times that will also raise the height a little bit. It might be enough. You might not need that extension seat post, a little taller seat post. But then again, you might. So really kind of depends. So if you have intentions to change the saddle out, I would say do that first and then evaluate. And then if you find that you need the bigger and longer seat post, then you order a seat post then at that point, right? So here's the thing with the Ocelot Pro 2.0. It does have a torque sensor and a cadence sensor on here. And all you got to do is push this button here. I don't know if you can see it. Let me angle down a little bit. This button right here, right in the middle, it says I. If you push that and hold it, it'll switch on the display screen. Let me show you the display screen down here. It'll show either an S or a T right here, kind of in like two parentheses. If it's in S, it's cadence sensor. If it's in T, it's torque sensor. I don't know why they call it S for cadence. Cadence, I would say C and not S, but hey, that's what they call it. So that's what we look at. So right now I have it on cadence sensor. I wanted to see how it felt like compared to the older Ocelot Pro. And I would say, yeah, it's pretty much the same. I don't notice that much difference. The minute you go into torque sensor, yeah, you notice the difference at that point. And of course, pedal level assist levels here, you can change that too. So, you know, you can go to pedal assist. I don't know, what do they put it on? 0 through 7, something like that. I changed it to 1 to 9. 1 to 9. And then I said, well, let me readjust the levels of each of the levels to the ranges that I typically prefer, because I know that when I made that video about how to do the changes within the screen, I changed it to 1 to 9, but I also changed some of the parameters, you know, how much percentage it's going to help you out at. Well, when I went to 1 to 9, I took a look at it. Every single one of them were exactly the same as the ones that I had changed it to. What does that mean? Okay, let me think about this now. If I changed it before, and I made a video about it, and I put down my settings, and now they come out with this new model, and I changed it 1 to 9, and I looked to change the settings, and it's exactly the same as my old settings. What does that tell you? I think Magicycle has adopted the Russ's right settings. There you go. The influencer has influenced the manufacturer. Yeah, that was my little secret I was going to tell you guys before, but I couldn't tell it to you. Yeah, you can't tell you that stuff until you at least release the video of the bike, right? In fact, I've had this bike for a little while, you know, several weeks in fact. I just haven't had a chance to be able to release it. I made the video just a few days after I received the bike, but yeah, I couldn't release it. Magicycle had a release date. A lot of the manufacturers have a release date. They'll tell you, okay, here's your bike, do what you need to do, but don't release your video until a specific date, because that's when they're ready to ship and ready to do things. Which makes sense, right? I mean, there's no sense talking about a product and not having it available for a long time, you know, to ship. Some companies have done that to me before. Think back and you'll kind of figure out who it was. So yeah. So anyway, I just couldn't release the video even though I had already made the video. So now it's out there, so I said, okay, now I can finally take this bike out and do some rides on it. So yeah, right now I'm on, what is this road here? Hints Road. Yeah, we've done this before. And yeah, we were going really fast down this road. This is the road that does 40 miles an hour. I'm not going that fast. I'm doing about 19, 20 miles an hour right now. There's not a whole lot of cars on the road. Oh, you know, by the way, somebody asked me, you know, whenever you're riding, how come there's not that many cars on the road when you're riding? Well, hey, here's the thing. I ride in the morning. A lot of times I'm riding on the side streets, although this one is not a side street. This is kind of a major road here. And I pick and choose roads that tend to be, oh, hold on a second. Too much noise from the grass mowing. I tend to ride on roads that have less cars on there, simply because it's safer. So I actually pick the roads that I go on. Today, yeah, I don't know why, but right now there's not a whole lot of cars. And if you pick the times of the day too, a lot of times, let's turn here. A lot of times, people are at work, so yeah, they're not going to be around. And you know, like these, what I call side streets, these are residential streets. People are either working or sleeping. So yeah, there's not going to be a whole lot of cars on the road here. That's really the safest way to ride streets if you're going to ride street. You know, pick the streets. Don't just pick any street. I mean, there's roads that I would like to have taken to go to places, but I just don't do it because it's probably not safe. You know, you got to be careful where you're going. So that's your answer as to why there's usually not that many cars out on the roads when I'm riding. So where we're going to go today? We're not going to go anywhere. We're really not. I just wanted to test out this seat post to see if it's got enough height. Yeah, it's got plenty of height. In fact, the interesting thing is on the back of the seat post, it's actually labeled with numbers, so you can always put it back to the number that you want it to be. I think all seat post manufacturers should do that. Yeah, put little notches, not notches, but you know, little markings on the seat post, so people know exactly where to put it. You know, so this company labeled it 1 through, I don't know, 1 through 9, 1 through 10, something like that. And I think I'm on 3 or something. We'll take a look at it. I'll find a spot we can pull over. We could take a look at it. You can see how tall this thing really is. But you know, they sell seat posts that have the attachments where you can put your saddle on it. Then they sell just seat posts with no attachments or anything. It's just a pole. I don't buy those simply because I kind of need the thing that has the thing where you can put the saddle on it, right? Without that, how am I going to attach my saddle? I'm not going to disassemble the other one. Here, let's pull off here. Let me show you. It's always nice to have a step through. You can step right through it. So here's the thing. What's this called? Boenio I can't pronounce this thing. Boenoea. Okay. And in the back here, you can see they have actually put numbers here. I'm on number 3 out of 10. Let me show you how tall this thing really gets. So usually there's a marking on here. So this is the minimum insertion point, which of course would be at the 0 mark. So you can go further down. That would be the minimum, but I'm down to around the 3.5 or so level. Let me reposition properly here, lock it in place. So this gives me plenty of height, and I still make that minimum insertion with no problem. In fact, at this point, I think this saddle is the highest I have set any bike. Yeah, nice. Yeah, let's lower the pedal assist here, going a little fast. So, yeah, I kind of like it. Let's switch over to torque sensor here. So just pushing that I button, we immediately move to torque. So depending on how hard I push on the pedal will be how fast I move. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of having both the torque and the cadence sensor on a single bike. You know, we have another bike that does the same thing, but you got to go into the menu to do it. This one has a button. You can do it on the fly. You could be in the middle of riding, and then push the button and change the thing. So, which I did just now. I would say this season I've ridden more pedaling on the videos than I've done in the last couple years. You know, usually I pedal on the way home, not during the actual videos. But yeah, I'm pedaling now, in case you can't tell. But although I do still get winded to a point, I'm not that winded compared to how I used to be. And you might see me using the gears more often too, because since it's on torque sensor, I sometimes don't want to be on full 7th gear. It might be too much strain to pedal, so I'll drop it down to 5 or 6. You know, here in my area, it's mostly a little bouncy there. It's mostly relatively flat. I mean, you got a little incline here, a little incline there, but it's nothing major. I mean, I see some of you guys going up and down major hills. We don't have that here in Illinois, so it's never really been an issue. But this bike has got a lot of torque. It'll go over the hill climb with no problem. So I don't know, what was this one? Is this number 2? Only beat out by the Deer 20, I think, going over the hill test. So yeah, it's got plenty of ability. And again, it's got the same lineage, of course. It's both from Magicycle, so kind of expected that this one would probably do pretty well as well, and it did. So what else did I do to this bike? Well, I added the side mirror, which of course came from Magicycle. Thank you, Magicycle, for that. And I'm going to have to add in a handlebar extender. You know, one of those little bars that go across. I had that on the original Ocelot Pro, and when I sold that, of course, I always take everything off of it. Take off the mirrors, take off whatever I put on a bike, I take off of it before I sell the bike. So I put it away somewhere. Now I got to look for it. I don't know where it is. I think it's in a box somewhere. I gotta find it. I find that with the type of handlebar that they have here, let me angle down. You can see it's kind of like a mini BMX style handlebar. It doesn't really do well with putting cell phone mounts on it because it's kind of tapered and everything. It's on an angle and all, so I've tried different ways to try to put a cell phone mount on it. It just doesn't fit right. So if you get the handlebar extender on it, it makes it a lot easier at this point. So okay, that was an e-bike. I don't know what that was. but that person was really low on the saddle. I mean, I could see the knees were quite bent. Unlike this bike, I'm way up there. I felt like I was so much taller than that person. You know, it's a 20-inch wheel bike, so whenever you have this thing this high up, some people will start thinking, well, why didn't the guy just get himself a 26-inch wheel bike then, right? You know, it kind of looks too tall for the 20-inch wheel bike. Yeah, well, hey, you know. Okay, now we got a whole bunch of dogs and everything going on here, and one of them's not even on a leash, so we'll see if the dog comes after me or not. Yeah, she didn't give me much space. She stood her ground and stayed where she was. I would have moved over a little bit. So anyway, no, the thing is, the 20-inch wheel bikes, you know, they are more nimble. I could maneuver this a lot easier than I can a 26-inch wheel bike, but you do tend to feel more of the bumps. I'll have to say that. Now you may be wondering, for this whole longer seat post, could I put a suspension seat post? Well, I guess if you could find one that fits it, you could. I mean, they all have different diameters, right? And this one is different than the Suntour seat post that they gave me, you know, which I put on the Cruiser. So I can't really put it on here. They gave me 2 suspension seat posts, but it won't fit on this one. So this is why I had to get a standard seat post, but one tall enough, right? All right, let's push our pedal assist level a little higher. And let's go all the way to 9. Put a little bit here. Let's see how we do. The thing is, you know, even though these bikes can go faster, I can't get it to go those speeds when I'm pedaling. I don't have the leg strength. This has always been the issue with me, and why I always kind of felt torque sensor bikes were tougher for me. Yeah, we're not pedaling now. Throttling now. Throttling. Well, it's actually on it's on cruise control at this point, so okay, let's see how fast this car's coming. Now, I was gonna make sure that car was stopped before I went forward, because she was coming down strong towards that stop sign. I looked her in the eye to make sure she knew she was coming out a little fast. So, no, when I see cars like that, I will stop at stop signs. But I will roll through stop signs. If there's no cars and no people around, I'll look around, and if there's nobody there, I'll just keep going. We all know that. I need to say these things every now and then, though, just so you know, because we do have new people, and I do almost weekly get somebody that'll comment about you blowing off stop signs and the like. It's usually more derogatory than that, by the way. That was a nice way of saying it. Now, the thing is, some people have said, oh, do these people even ride bikes? Because, I mean, they kind of know a lot of bike riders kind of do it the way I do it. Because, yeah, we don't want to hop off the bike. If we had to do a total stop, you know, I can't balance the bike, so you have to kind of hop off. Then you got to hop back on, and up and down and up and down. That's pretty tough for a bike rider. Even motorcyclists, you know, their feet are closer to the ground. It's not that hard in comparison, but it is tough for someone who has a full leg extension on a bike to do it. Now, some guys are really good. I guess they could balance well even when the bike's not moving. I can't do that, so I don't want to take the risk of falling it either. So that's why no one's around. I've slowed down. I can't see anybody. I keep going. They really do need to adopt that for Illinois and other places too, where we treat stop signs more like yield signs than anything else. So really, that's about all I wanted to do. I just wanted to test out the bike again, see how it feels with the new seat post. I'm happy with it. I'm thinking maybe I'm a little bit higher than I should be. Maybe I should drop it down maybe a half a notch or something like that from those settings. Maybe instead of 3, it should be maybe 3.5 or something. I'll make that adjustment when I'm able to. So here we have a car, so of course I stop the best I can without falling over. I mean, technically you haven't technically stopped, you kind of rolled a little bit, but you know, it's close enough. I mean, but even that, I will get comments for it. So let's see, what else is new? I still need to do one more video for Houti. Remember those guys, Houti? Yeah, the camel. They wanted me to do 2 videos for them. I said, yeah, no problem. I typically will ride the bike again anyway. It's not a big deal. So now I was debating about, should I do a range test on that one or not? Because as you may notice, I haven't been doing range tests that much lately. Because I've kind of gotten disillusioned with the whole range test idea. You know, weight seems to play a major factor, as we know. Since I lost some weight, I noticed going over the hill has been changed and everything. I'm sure that changes the all of the numbers that I have for how many miles can I get on the bike, and if you throttle, how you throttle, whether you pedal, you know, all sorts of things play into factors whether you get a certain range or not. Of course, it kind of gives you an idea roughly what you might get, but I can pretty much estimate with that particular Houti camel bike, probably do at least 60 miles on it, at least, if not more, because I was able to get, I did over 32 or 33 miles when I rode with Wally at one time, and I still had just a little bit below halfway point on my little meter thing here. It told me that I still had energy in my battery. So if I had to guesstimate, and I was throttling most of it, right? And we were doing like 20 miles an hour. So if I was pedaling or if I was throttling more conservatively, you know, easily should be able to do 60 miles out of that double battery system. So do I really need to do it? And I kept thinking, if I do it, well, that's going to be a long video, or at least a long ride. I may not show you all of it. And that's a lot of riding. You know, I usually try to finish those things off in a single day. So I may not do it. I'm just going to tell you, it's probably going to get you around that 60 plus range, depending on how you ride. So yeah, I don't think you'll be seeing range tests out of me that much anymore. Everyone rides a little differently, right? So, I mean, as you guys know, I throttle quite a bit. You know, really the best thing is the cruise control ones. If you have a cruise control on it, you don't even have to throttle continuously. You just set the level. It'll keep you there. And that's more consistent, which means you're probably going to get better mileage out of it that way too. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll do range tests anymore. I don't think it's really necessary. Some people still want to know what it roughly is. Hey, let me tell you, every time I've done a range test on bikes, most of them are pretty, if you got a 20 amp hour battery, most of them are going to do at least 28 to 30 miles. Every time I do it, it hovers in that range. And based on my weight and everything, I mean, chances are, unless you weigh more than me, you're probably going to get at least that on almost any of the 20 amp hour bikes. So, anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. Appreciate you guys following along. I came out early in the morning. Well, it's early-ish. It's about 9 o'clock right now. It's about 76, 77 degrees already. It's just going to get hotter. So Hey, I'll sign off. Anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. More rides to come. Talk to you guys next time.